While the gaming scene is booming this year with wildly popular releases and so much more on the horizon, a more tiny game has snuck into this year's lineup as well. It may not be an MMORPG, but it is a TMORPG. Now, what is a TMORPG, Mrs. STIX? Listen. I had no clue until this game, but it means a tiny multiplayer online role-playing game. Each server is restricted to 7 players. Book of Travels has certainly traveled its way into my heart as it just recently released into early access on October 11th. They advertise themselves as being a unique social role-playing experience that doesn't hold your hand. And let me tell you, this is the case. This game is hand-drawn and just kind of plops you into a fantastical world, and you just get to travel around and do whatever it is you are going to do. You're offered a selection of characters at the beginning of your journey with a variety of traits to pick from, some of which aren't implemented yet within the game, and the ability to craft your own backstory. I think my backstory was pretty solid considering I've never done this type of thing before. Personally, I've never really played a game where there were quests randomly with NPCs, but zero indication on where to go to complete them, but simply a verbal round yonder type of guidance. Something very valuable to me was physically writing down information, as there's really nowhere to keep notes with you in the game. You can add little notes on the map, but once you leave that map, which is where most of the quests are going to lead you, you're going to be lost without notes right there as a reminder. I'm probably going to keep saying this about this game, but I've never had to do this before, and I can barely read my own chicken scratch handwriting, so I played in hard mode. But there is something exciting about this game. If you miss speaking to an NPC, you might miss out on a quest or even an interaction like being mugged like I was. The NPCs will also come and go as the day and night cycles happen in real world time for the server region you choose. So if I'm playing at night and return in the morning, there might be a whole new experience for me waiting there. What happens in my story may never happen in yours. For example, I found some type of hole in the ground and ventured down, and then the next thing I knew I was dead. You have 3 total life petals. When all 3 are gone, you are perma dead. However, there are some spells and teas that will replenish this, but be careful. Your experience may change as well if you decide to play with friends. Socializing in this game is very unique, and I dare say almost pure. There is no text chat within this game. When you pass by another player, you might not even realize it at first. I would like to note here though that you can indeed play with friends if you'd like, but if you want to go solo, you can. The first time I came across another player, I only knew about it because of this indication that popped up. I was able to group up with nearby players. You can also see their avatar pictures on your map. These 6 other players in your game are indeed precious and few in times that you should use wisely. The world, which is only going to get larger with future updates, is quite expansive already. So when you stumble upon another person, be aware that there are interactions with objects and NPCs that might require you and others to succeed in something. One example was helping a fisherman pull up their line as they battled a fish and required 2 people. Another time was lifting a rock that required all 7 people on the server. However, it looks like specific gear can assist in giving you stats to not need another person if you have the right gear on. But to give you guys an idea of how interaction works in the game, the first time I stumbled across another player, I had just found a lockbox across the bridge that required 3 mechanical points. So I used my little arrow emoji and thumbs up until they eventually followed me across the bridge to the box. It is also worth noting that to move about in the game, you need to point and click to get places. Once reaching our destination, we celebrated our eventual success with hearts and thumbs up until we parted ways with a wave emoji. Just that little interaction made me so excited, because what were the chances, and also the fact that the stranger knew that I wanted something by just a bunch of arrows. Another interaction was when I stumbled across 2 people at once, and we all 3 attempted to lift a rock but couldn't manage it despite being together, so we all cry-faced and waved goodbye. Now, I know you guys are going to also ask me if you can attack these other players, and the answer is no. However, there is combat within the game, but it is few and far between. I ended up purchasing myself a sword and armor, both of which I need to save up to purchase the skills for. The combat is close to real-time table tabletop combat and is chance-based. Personally, I have yet to experience it, but look forward to it when it eventually finds me. Hopefully with more life petals. As I mentioned too, I need to save up to get skills and also spells, equipment, and food. The game works on a trading system, which I'm apparently terrible at. To have a successful trade with a merchant, you need to have equal or higher value items to balance the trade. I usually ended up over trading to get an item, but it also reduced the amount of items within my bag, which is quite limited until you get better backpack space. Just don't do what I did and forget what items you had in your inventory for a quest and sell it off and walk off. Sure, you can buy it back, but I had no clue who I left my quest item with, and now I'm like 3 regions away. You'll also find items out in the world that you can then take and trade. Some of the better items I found was actually through working with other players to open lockboxes, but there are a few occurrences where I found some good quality trade items on my own. I did run into a few bugs with trade where I'd trade something and it'd never appear in my inventory, or I'd attempt to get on a boat and I'd be stuck in the water. There's indeed some bugs within the game at this current state, and it's nothing I'm really surprised about. Overall, I think this game is ambitious, fun, undeniably beautiful, and creative with some things to fix. At times, some areas felt very empty of things to do, but again, that might change as I move forward. There's also no real story, there's no beginning, and there's no end. It's just you roaming about and playing and creating your own little story for yourself. This can be freeing for some people, but a turnoff for others. Oh, and you can pet the dogs, just in case that was weighing on anyone's minds. It is also worth noting that the price tag is $30 US, but it is on sale for 10% off in celebration of the launch, and future chapters will be free. However, they did mention that there will be paid DLCs later on. I'm very curious how this game will evolve, and I don't expect it to be anything huge, but I definitely think it's a vibrant game that is worth a look. So if this game looks like your cup of tea, then there is a place to drink it near the campfire in this game. I'll see you guys next time, and let me know what you think about the game down in the comments below. Bye!